In this organization, your salary and your life expectancy move in opposite directions. The more you earn, the closer you are to dying, and the ones at the very top, they haven't slept a full night in years. Let me tell you something that every documentary, every Netflix series, and every news report gets completely wrong about the Sinaloa Cartel. They show you the gold-plated guns, the private zoos, the tunnels under the American border, the billions of dollars. What they never show you is the arithmetic. The cold, brutal, unforgiving arithmetic of what it actually costs in money, in freedom, in blood, and in years of your life to exist at each level of this organization. The Sinaloa Cartel is not a gang. It is a multinational corporation that generates more revenue than most countries on this planet. It operates in over 50 countries. It has corrupted police forces, military units, judges, politicians, and border agents across 3 continents. And at the center of it, a hierarchy so precise, so structured, and so ruthless that it makes most legitimate businesses look disorganized by comparison. Today you are going to live every single rank inside the most powerful drug trafficking organization in human history. From the absolute bottom, where you are worth less than the product you carry, all the way to the top, where you are one of the most hunted men on earth. Every rank, every paycheck, every price. The numbers are real, the deaths are real, and by the end of this video, you are going to understand something about power and money that most people spend their entire lives never learning. Rank 1, the Halcon, the lookout, level 1, Halcon, the hawk, you are the eyes, nothing more. You stand on a corner or sit on a rooftop or idle in a car at the end of a street and you watch. You watch for police vehicles. You watch for military convoys. You watch for unfamiliar faces that appear more than once. And the moment you see something wrong, you make one phone call. That is your entire job. You are 12, 13, maybe 14 years old. Not always, but often enough that the numbers should make you stop and think. Because the Sinaloa Cartel does not recruit adults for this position. Adults ask questions. Adults have families who will notice if they disappear. Children are cheaper. Children are faster. Children can move through a neighborhood without anyone looking twice. Your pay at this level, between $300 and $500 per month. In the towns along the Sierra Madre Mountains where this organization was born, that is more money than your father makes working legitimate jobs. It feels like wealth. It feels like power. It feels like the beginning of something. And in a way it is. It is the beginning of the only career path available to you now, because once the cartel has your face, your name, and your loyalty, there is no application process for a different future. You belong to them. The question I want you to think about right now and drop in the comments is this. If you were born in that town, at that age, with those options, what would you have done differently? Rank those. The Sicario to Hitman, in a level 2. The moment the organization decides you are useful for something beyond watching, everything changes. You have shown something. Maybe it was how you handled a situation without panicking. Maybe it was a willingness to cross a line that made the men around you hesitate. Whatever it was, someone above you noticed. And now you have a new job description. You are an instrument of consequences. When someone steals from the cartel, you are sent to explain what happens to people who steal from the cartel. When a rival organization moves product through territory that belongs to Sinaloa, you are sent to make the message permanent. When a government official decides that the money he has been accepting for years is no longer enough to buy his silence, you are sent to remind him of the terms of the original agreement. Your pay jumps to between $1,000 and $3,000 per contract. Sometimes more for high-value targets. Sometimes a flat monthly salary of around $1,500 plus bonuses. But here is the arithmetic nobody tells you when you accept this position. The average career length of a Sicario in the Sinaloa Cartel is between 2 and 4 years. Not because they retire, not because they find better opportunities elsewhere, because this is the most exposed position in the entire organization. You are the one pulling the trigger. You are the one whose face ends up on surveillance cameras. You are the one the authorities are looking for when a body is found. The men who gave you the order are 3 layers removed from any evidence. You are not. Rank 3, the Plaza Boss, Territory Controller Level 3. The Plaza Boss. You control a plaza, a designated geographic territory that belongs to the Sinaloa Cartel. It could be a city, a border crossing, a port, a mountain corridor through which hundreds of kilos of product move every single week. This territory is yours to manage, yours to protect, and yours to generate revenue from. Every criminal operation within your plaza, drug sales, extortion, kidnapping, human smuggling, pays a percentage to you, and you pay a percentage upward to the regional boss above you. Your monthly income at this level starts at around $20,000 and can reach into six figures depending on the size and strategic value of your plaza. You have soldiers beneath you, Sicarios on your payroll, local police who receive monthly envelopes to look the other way, politicians whose campaigns you have quietly funded. You are not just a criminal, you are an economy. An entire ecosystem of people, legitimate and otherwise, depends on the stability of your operation. But stability in the cartel world is a temporary condition. A rival organization wants your plaza. A faction within your own organization wants your plaza. The federal government has your name on a list, and somewhere in your own crew someone is calculating whether the cost of removing you is lower than the benefit of taking what you have built. You sleep with your phone on, always. Rank for the regional coordinator, level 4, the regional coordinator. You now oversee multiple plazas across an entire region, perhaps an entire Mexican state, or a network of distribution hubs that stretches across the American Southwest. Multiple plaza bosses answer to you. You collect from all of them and consolidate the payments upward. Your income at this level is difficult to calculate because it is no longer a salary, it is a percentage of everything that moves through your region. Conservative estimates for this level run between $500,000 and several $1 million per year, most of it in cash. Most of it moving through a network of legitimate businesses designed to make it look like it was never there. You are now insulated from the street in a way that the ranks below you are not. You do not touch product. You do not order violence directly. You manage relationships with plaza bosses, with government contacts, with the leadership above you, and with the American distribution networks on the other side of the border that are just as important to the operation as anything happening in Mexico. But insulation is not the same as safety. At this level, the D knows your name. The Mexican federal police have a file on you, and the United States government has quietly issued a request to the Mexican government for your extradition that will never officially be acknowledged but never officially goes away either. You are rich beyond anything you imagined standing on that corner as a Halcon, and you are in more danger than you have ever been in your life. Rank 5, the financial operator, level 5. The financial operator, this rank is invisible to the outside world, which is exactly why it is one of the most powerful positions in the entire organization. You do not move drugs. You do not manage territory. You do not order violence. You move money. Billions of dollars of it every year through a network of shell companies, real estate investments, currency exchange, businesses, import-export firms, and banking relationships that spans multiple countries and multiple continents. The product that the cartel sells generates cash. Enormous quantities of physical cash that cannot simply be deposited into a bank account without triggering every financial monitoring system in existence. Your job is to make that cash disappear and reappear on the other side as legitimate, traceable, taxable income that belongs to businesses and individuals who have no visible connection to organized crime. You are likely a professional, an accountant, a lawyer, a financial advisor with credentials from a legitimate institution. You may have never set foot in a plaza. You may have never met us. You may live in a city far from the violence in a house that looks like any other successful professional's house, and conduct your work through encrypted communications and carefully structured legal transactions. Your compensation is substantial and almost entirely invisible, and if you're ever caught, the charges against you will be financial crimes, not drug trafficking, which means your sentence, if convicted, will be a fraction of what the men at the top will receive. This is the rank that almost nobody talks about. And it rank 6, the Capo, senior leadership, level 6, the Capo, you are senior leadership, one of a small group of men who sit directly beneath the top of the organization and collectively manage the strategic direction of the most powerful criminal enterprise on earth. Your decisions affect supply chains that stretch from poppy fields in the mountains of Sinaloa to street corners in Chicago, New York, and Los Angeles. You manage relationships with foreign cartels, the organizations in Colombia, Central America, and Asia that supply the raw materials the Sinaloa Cartel processes and distributes. You negotiate with corrupt officials at the highest levels of the Mexican government, not through intermediaries but directly, in conversations that will never be recorded and never be admitted to by anyone involved. Your personal wealth is measured in hundreds of millions. Your lifestyle is by necessity split between extreme comfort and extreme caution. A compound in the mountains with its own security force and escape tunnels. A legitimate identity in a city far away from where you actually operate. multiple phones, multiple vehicles, multiple identities, multiple countries where you maintain residences and relationships. You have not used your real name in a professional context in years. The Americans have offered a reward of several $1 million for information leading to your capture. Somewhere in your organization, someone is looking at that number and doing the math. You already know this. You have known it for years. It is why you trust almost no one completely. And why the ones you do trust, you have known since childhood. Rank 7, El Jefe T, Boss. Level 7, El Jefe, the Boss. The top of the most powerful drug trafficking organization in the history of organized crime. Let me tell you what this actually looks like, because it is simultaneously the most powerful and the most exhausting existence a human being can inhabit. Your personal fortune is estimated in the billions. Not millions. Billions. You have funded infrastructure in the communities where you grew up: roads, schools, churches. Churches, because loyalty purchased through generosity lasts longer than loyalty purchased through fear. And you understood this before most politicians did. The United States government considers you one of the most significant threats to national security on the planet. Interpol has your photograph distributed to every member country. The Mexican military has conducted operations specifically designed to capture or kill you, and you have survived all of them. Some through intelligence, some through luck, some through the corruption that runs so deep through Mexican institutions that your people often know about operations before they happen. But here is the truth about El Jefe that the money and the legend cannot cover. You cannot attend your children's school events. You cannot visit your parents' graves without a security detail of 30 armed men. You cannot eat at a restaurant without it being swept for surveillance equipment first. You cannot make a phone call that you are certain is not being monitored. You cannot trust that the man who has been your closest associate for 20 years has not, in some moment of weakness or fear, made a quiet arrangement with people who want you in a cage. You are the most powerful criminal in the world. And you are also, in every practical sense of the word, a prisoner. A prisoner of your own empire. A prisoner of the life you chose on a street corner in Sinaloa when you were young enough to believe that the only direction worth going was up, no matter what the path looked like. 7 ranks, 7 paychecks, 7 prices that the money can never fully cover, from a child on a street corner earning $300 a month, to the most wanted man on earth sitting on a billion-dollar empire he can never fully enjoy. The Sinaloa Cartel did not build its power through chaos. It built it through structure, patience, and a ruthless understanding of one simple truth: that as long as demand exists, supply will find a way. No wall stops it, no law eliminates it, no arrest ends it, because the moment one man falls, the structure absorbs the loss and continues moving. This was your life inside the Sinaloa Cartel. Every rank, every peso, every price. Now, tell me in the comments, which rank do you think has the worst deal when you weigh the money against the risk? Because the answer might not be what you think. It is the rank that keeps the entire empire alive. It requires surviving 13 seconds of pure violence.